Hello, darlings. Okay, let's get this straight. I had such a hard time getting live that we decided just skip the music, get straight to the heart of the matter, because it's taken me all day to get back here. So, okie dokie. We have what was finished yesterday. It just needs to be cut to size and framed. But first, oh my goodness, this feels so nice. One of my neighbors, it turns out, she loves felt. She loves the feeling of felt. Who knows? Maybe we can make a deal of some sort. But you gotta see what I got today. I am so psyched. I did not know what to expect, but I knew I wanted to get some nice fibers that was not just plain wool. Every place I thought was open turned out to be closed, but not updated in the internet, apparently, not for search. And it took several searches and phone calls to discover that they don't do anything anymore, right? So we went to Groton and we found this, which unfortunately fell on the car floor. A half an hour drive became an hour and a half. We got lost going home. So it was a way longer day than intended. But the owner of the store, seeing how excited I was, he said, sometimes people drop off stuff as a donation. And she said, I happen to have a little bit. And there was also some purple like this. So Maureen got that because it wouldn't fit in the bag with all this other stuff. So this is like free roving to work with. This is called pencil roving. And the pencil roving is, as you see, it's not like the large chunks that we usually get. Now, I have had a little bit of pencil roving. I think it's great for texture. I mean, it's already like, just lay this out if you don't want to open it up the way we do with the others. But if you want to felt it, you can do it just like we do with all the other wool. This is more of a coarse wool. So this would be, I think, really good for any kind of outerwear. And it's an interesting blend of colors. It's a blue, a green, a purple, and it's like a bunch of remnants that were turned into this. Interesting. It is nice overall, though. So we are keeping it. Oh yeah, I got mail. Yeah. Okay. It's we'll put this stuff aside for now. We're not using those colors. But we need to do some tests. Now this is 80% New Zealand Merino, which is like my favorite, and 20% silk. So it's 22 micron Merino, making it extremely lacy. It's very, very nice. And I like this so much. It's just too bad it's not aqua. I need more of a turquoise to repair the scarf, the 100-year-old scarf. Because boy, this would be pretty amazing. And look at these colors. So I am going to make a test using all of the new wool found today. And this is just delicious. This is super soft, around 21 micron. So it felt beautifully. what like saying hand wash, cold water, dry flats, 100% merino. So 113 grams. And zinnias, that's what I use to make sure I've got the right colors. If I want to order more of something, we need the right names. And you are Zarzamora. No, I'm pretty sure. It's a day without enough water. This indicita. Beautiful. So I'm going to want to see how these look laid out. So I have to make some test swatches. And my friend got herself one of these, and she also bought one for me. Actually, she paid for this one for me, which was just very sweet. I never had to do this before. So that's interesting. It's like a crown. Well, while I find the ends of these, that looks like an end right there, does it not? Yes, it does. There we go. So that's one. Look at those rich colors. Okay, and you. What's it called? Ah. Very clever. Or is it? I thought this was the one that's supposed to unwrap and release the braid. Well, I guess we'll just have to figure this out in slow motion. This makes no sense to me. That is definitely strange. It's ridiculous. This is the unexpected part. That's kind of like the way the day went. We were using the GPS to find the specific restaurant, which was supposed to be like literally the closest highly rated old-fashioned kind of kitchen American diner kind of style food. And we got lost going there. And it was less than a mile away, which was interesting. But then after we ate, that's when the series of bad decisions began. And we ended up in the opposite direction. But it was kind of funny because ever since I returned to Connecticut, one of the places I wanted to see was not the exact place, but the street intersection where I used to live in Pawcatuck, Connecticut. That's how far away we were, out of the way. Because we weren't really anywhere near there when we set out. Now, because of the fact that there was a train trestle, and still is right there at the end of my old street, only so much change could happen, but it was significant nonetheless. I hadn't been in that neighborhood since 1977. So it was a strange drive-by. Oh, come on, somewhere there's got to be another end. How it got so buried. Okay, we've got the whole spectrum of this exposed now. I don't need to actually unwind the rest of that. Oh, this is luxuriously soft. Now, in case you didn't figure out, these are high-end fibers. Certainly what I would say would be normally outside of my budget. But I set aside money over the last 2 months so I could go and spend $100 without feeling bad about it. And so I did. Now, some of this, it looks like it needs to be combed again, but that's okay. I'll use this for doing our sample. And I'm going to take some of this off now, just because I want to be able to put it all away and get it off my table so I can try the the rest of the stuff. Now, what I set out for, or what we set out for, was we have several local farms. Connecticut raises sheep, and although people are starting to do more knitting and crocheting, the felting is a much slower to catch on art. There is not really a whole bunch of people who know about it to begin with, or how to do it, or are aware that you can do it at home. It's not something you have to turn to a factory for. Okay, let me see. We're going to need the, oh God, what do I file this one under? Blue, purple, green. I guess we're going to go with whatever I've got room for. And actually, we currently have a little more room in green, although that's also going to be going into the green. Oh, you know what? I have another suitcase. These stretchy little things. Okay, batch number 1. Yay. Let's take some off of this. It's a lot easier. Oh, look at that. Those colors are just yummy. Look at the sheen. Gorgeous dye job. It's almost like tie-dyed wool. You know, I don't want to get this all stretched out. I'm just going to cut some off. And we're going to put this in here too. I'm going to have to get me some more of that. I can tell already that I am going to love this. Wow. Purple, silvery gray, white, another purple. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, now let's see if we can shortcut this. Where is the little tongue? There. See, that's how it was supposed to be before. I'm just going to go ahead and cut a piece off of this too, since we really don't need to unwind all of it. And oh my goodness, look at that. Got a light and a dark. Okay. So everything there is 100% merino. Now, the woman who owns the shop commented that some people get this to turn into yarn, to spin it. But that merino is so soft and fine, it really isn't that great for spinning. I mean, you have to get good at it, you know? But it's perfect for wet felting. Okay, the other suitcase. Now this is like the same color scheme, very much, but this is mixed with silk, mulberry silk. And what colors they call this? It's peppercorns, mulberry, and skyscape. That's the thing about making your own blends. You can come up with whatever fanciful name you want for your product. I would never have bought peppercorns for those. Yeah, I really don't get that. I've had green and black and pink peppercorns and white, but I have never had blue or that kind of yellow. Nevertheless, that is the name, so let's go check it out. Now they call this a sliver. No idea what a sliver is, but we're about to find out together. I've not heard that word before in association with, well, roving is what I call it. So this is, oh my goodness, this is so amazingly soft and smells just like wool. I think we know which the silk is, right? This white mixed in with the pale, the turquoise yarn. Yep, that's gorgeous. Yeah, you need wool to make silk felt. The texture that you get, though, is just absolutely lovely against your skin. So let's find an end here. There we go. Oh, look at that. A little tail piece we can take off without having to cut this at all. Of course, we'll never get it back in here. I'm not even going to try. We're putting it in the new suitcase. All right, well, let's let this beast free too. Oh my. If you could feel this now. And there's our little sample off the bottom. Now you might be asking yourself, what is she going to make with that? The answer is, I have no idea. Well, a semi-idea. Something artsy that I can wear. Either as a hat or a purse. I would make a vest, but I don't have that kind of room. There you are. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Oh, what? No poof at the bottom? Well, I'll just have to poof it off myself. This is a first in the studio. We have never had this before. We did a lot of driving for this. And now. Let's see if we can safely shut the zipper without catching. And it will. And we did. I feel so rich right now. I feel like I just found King Solomon's mine. Only without deadly tests. I guess it would be prudent to put something down, right? Like a water-absorbing entity. Oh, it's 4:30. I want to stay on at least so that when Mr. Gary gets home, I can say hello. So sit here and have some tea. Now, I'll have to get up again to get some hot water to actually turn this into something. Thank you. All right, so we've got 3 very, very different and delicate, right? We've got this pure wool, pure wool. This is going to handle like the merino wool that we've been using so far. Although this is, yeah, this is as fine as the finer stuff that we have. Now, when you have fades, that are already built into the dye lot. Hey, knock it off. I would be working on purple. Now this is, I think, 2 different grays because it's got a beautiful silvery feel to it. Kind of a smoky gray and an almost white gray. The thing is, with felting, unlike crocheting or knitting, where the color is going to follow a pattern. So if I was turning this into yarn by spinning it, you would see the different breaks of color and you'd start to see kind of the rhythm of them. In this case, I have to learn how to work with that because you have to go in two directions at least to make things knit, which means your colors are going to blend. Now, I use that to my advantage when I'm intentionally blending colors, like to get a prettier sunrise, sunset kind of a feel. Here we're talking about things that could be quite different once you double up on the color. Look at that beautiful gray. And Merino wool is known for having a very long staple. There's the Corriedale I used. Apparently has a much shorter one. I used that to make the blue background yesterday for the felted picture. So let's take the gray. Now, I'm not sure if 2 layers will be enough for a sample. But I really don't want to open all this up and do a larger sample, so we're going to just continue as if they're all connected. Okay, we've got this kind of scuzzy end here. There's a beautiful chocolatey color. I'm going to use this to lead in. Come on. All right, so we've got this purple. Apparently some of this will got kind of damp in the handling, and it already started felting itself. Oh, what a beautiful transition there. Gonna get a lot of texture out of this piece. since part of it's kind of pre-felted just from it being a natural product. Look at that. It's kind of cute. Now this is it is tricky because when you're laying stuff out for wet felting, you kind of need to know what your colors are going to be, how you want them to end up. And so when you overlap, which you have to do or it won't knit together, you can end up with some, I don't know, mysteries. We're going to find out. So I have to learn how to use these, I forget what the word is for them. That's not variegated. But there is a word. Oh, now I've got some gorgeous, like a cranberry rosy color in here. I got the drink water sign. Okay. Okay. Now this is only 2 layers thick. It's not going to, well, it's going to show me how it's going to felt in the future, but it's not going to be anything more than bookmarkers. since we can always try to make use out of the stuff. Another gorgeous dye job. They just do beautiful work. My elbow keeps sticking to the plastic. Hello, how are you today? How's your weekend going? What are you looking forward to doing tonight? Yippee-ki-yo-ki-yay. Is Maui here? Maui did something funny the other day. He sent me a video using my face of a woman on horseback, basically trying to get her horse moving, and AI couldn't recognize Ihua. It didn't say it right. It's like, huh? I said, well, I'm not a cowboy, but I know that's wrong. It's like, oh yeah, AI. You can type something in like yeehaw, but it doesn't know how to pronounce it. Mouse Without Borders. Never heard of it. What is its purpose? And something nice. My mouse started working again. Oh, extra mice. $20 RAM upgrade? How much RAM for 20 bucks? I didn't think you could buy any RAM for 20 bucks anymore. Oh. Well, it makes sense I'd be behind that kind of thing. And that kind of thing, I have no use for it. But I would assume that would be a good thing because people work on multiple monitors, but I do not. Oh, how are you? I prefer soccer to football, to American football by far. But don't ask me anything about it or what teams I like because the answer is whoever's playing. If I happen to be there where there's TV showing them, I will watch and I will enjoy it. But when I leave the bar, I take my interest with me. So what have you discovered about it? Oops, sorry. I hate when I do that. Hey, get back down there. Windows 7 gateway. Yeah, all right, that's nice. I have a I think it's an HP. I had a Pavilion. I finally think I had to give up on that. The screen just stopped working, even though everything was opening up. I couldn't see anything. 'Cause the screen went black. It was a touch screen too. Okay. All right. So this is merino wool, 80% merino and 20% mulberry silk. And I indulged today by getting 3 bags full to see how it felted. My goodness. It's like playing with cotton candy. It's so light. You can never have too much RAM unless you don't have the power to run it. My goodness. This is just amazing. I don't even know how to work with this yet. That's what we're learning now. How do you work with this? Not like that. It's going to have to start crossing it over. Like that. My. Yeah, that's not going to work well with those colors right behind it. Let's move it up. Move that a little bit more like that. Wait. Suckers in. Oh, really? Yeah, it's cool. Well, I'm glad they're getting more press. because they deserve it. Okay. This is a sampling of everything I bought today. And now I'm going to set it up for tomorrow because it's too late in the day to play with this. I'll have to roll it. And tomorrow, I'll get out the water and we'll do some actual felting. So that's for tomorrow. Well, I don't know how small an area. I mean, a gym is pretty big. What would you expect? Oh, yes. Well, there's also more concussions too. More traumatic brain injuries, things like that. More serious breaks. Yeah, those sports are kind of violent. Very violent. Overall, yeah, I'm sure compared that way, yeah, it's definitely cheaper to get into it. And it's all skill, not just being muscly. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I need a watercolor pencil. Be right back. Oh, that'll work. Let's improvise. What I like about this, it washes out. Yeah. You know, I think we've gone a little too far with that. Video games going professional. I think we've already got people too tied to their computers. It's wonderful if you happen to be crippled. But encouraging young people to not move their bodies, no, that's what leads to illness and depression, and bad digestion, weakness of the body and mind. You need exercise for your brain. It is inherently a cardiovascular disease when you have dementia. Has it? No, 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 no. Locally, we had to drive and then we got lost coming home. It's taken all day to do this. We went to a place called Groton, Connecticut, and then got lost and ended up in a town called Westerly, Rhode Island. It's a Merino, Merino. But we had lunch out. We both opted for something we rarely eat, hamburgers. I think I freaked the waitress out by asking how to pick a side order. I picked mashed potatoes with gravy. I don't think she knew what to do with that. I got a look like, what is wrong with you? But I love potatoes, but I didn't want anything greasy or deep fried today, especially because I was having a hamburger, which can sit in your system for a while. Yeah, you got it now. That's it. Merino. Okay, so let's see how close we are. Let's see if it'll fit in the frame properly. I'm not ready to actually frame it. I just want to make sure I've got this right, because this has to be needle felted into this. And before that, I want to do a golden apple, like for mythology. And I tried doing it with a yellow wool, and I did not like it at all. Just the wrong feeling to it, you know? And since I'm succeeded in doing what I wanted to do with this, I don't want to mess it up now. So I have to pay attention. But this, in the meantime, can go in a safe place. Which would be here. Well, not all together yet, but it's going to end up like that. You stay out because we need to work on you. Let's just get you into place. We don't need that now. And here's the frame. This is my least favorite clip. When they snap back at you, they hurt. Okay, so yeah, I knew there would be some spaces. I'll probably put rice paper behind that. But in the meantime, this is being kept flat and clean until I'm ready to iron it. And I didn't want the matting. This is too stark white, right? I like the feeling of more like endless sky. Thank you. It's certainly different from my usual paintings, but that's actually one of the things I'm really enjoying about it. I will wash this because this is a nice piece of felting. So now that it's felted, it can be used in other projects. So we will not throw it away. We'll just wash. Did my audio go quiet? Oh, am I still? It looks like it's responding. Ah, la 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 la. Did I sit down not in front of it enough? Here. Oop, oops. Okay, so let's put this over here and put this over here behind me. And let's see. I bet that stuff I just bought will felt with silk beautifully. Were you here in time to see these? Gorgeous, just gorgeous. And I got this stuff for free. People donate. Unfortunately, these fell out in the back of my friend's car on the floor. So they picked up some grass and, you know, schmutz. This is called fingering or something like that. It's for fast weaving into yarn. It's like you hardly have to feed it, I guess. Because when you're making yarn, you need to be able to stretch your fibers as they're twisting. But we're not making yarn. We're using the raw fiber to felt it together. So we got a lot of grass in that, didn't we? So this is kind of cool. There's a piece of purple like this that Maureen picked up. That was also part of the giveaway. That was a little bit of it, but yeah. So this is kind of cool. And this, I'm going to guess, is not merino. It's more like core. It's got the shorter fibers. They're stockier. This will felt like a dream. Probably shrink a lot too. Can't wait to see what colors we get with that stuff when it's wet and work together. You gotta think three-dimensionally with this. This just makes me think winter sweater or jacket, really. Maybe an autumn jacket. Hey, don't go anywhere. The colors are very autumny. And this kind of, this density, it's not the kind of thing you want against your skin. This is more like an outerwear. You would use merino on the inside of it, lining, and then it would be silky. We'll mess with that too tomorrow. And that, that's need much of that. You have to have it go at least back and forth or it won't felt. So just felt that. All right. Oh, we need another place to put those, don't we? Paper bags do not work. No. It's my green merinos and Corriedale. I know I had so much fun shopping today. And my limit was around $100. I did save up for it. And I think after taxes and all that, it came out to 108. 108.48. I did great. It's just a drag that I want to just buy a single color that's solid color like these greens. I have to go outside of the state. There's no one around here. I'm going to try and find someone in state. Oh, it goes fast when you're, you know, this has to get matted down. So it ends up like really thin. So it starts off fluffy like that and ends up like that. A thinner fabric. So, yeah, it's cool. I love it. Like I told the woman, I had no idea. I was not looking for another hobby. You know, I was not looking for another hobby. The last thing I wanted was another hobby. I did not expect my brain to explode. And yet it did. I saw wet felting and that was it. I felt like, oh my God, where have you been all my life? And suddenly it was like all I wanted to do. And I tried it with what I had for needle felting. I was sold, that was it. Now I just got that big ball of red, but it turns out the red bleeds. Gary, I was waiting for you to come home. I know I've got a very crowded work area. So all the large stuff we're doing downstairs in the community room where I'll have free use of larger tables. I just have to do it on a day that nobody's having a party or anything else going on down there. Gary, I bought $100 worth of wool today. I am so happy. And then I got these for free. Apparently some fiber people donate their little bits here and there to the store. And then the store owner just gives it away. Well, when I told her how crazy I was about wet felting and how sad I was about the limited selection, she went into her back closet and said, I got these. I'm great. So I laid out the wool for tomorrow. I'm not going to do it now because, you know, I don't want to start wet felting now. We got lost coming home. So we started at 10:15 this morning and I didn't get home until after 2. Yeah, way after 2. So it was a very nice day. We beat the rain, so no complaining. But I spent a lot more time on the road, making sure my friend did not run off the road. Sometimes she doesn't see things as well as she needs to. That's why I am a co-pilot. Anyway, we got these gorgeous skeins of raw wool that's dyed in, different colors. And these three are the high-end stuff. It's silk and merino wool. It feels like cotton candy. It's so soft. So I laid this out so tomorrow we can just see how it felt and what happens to the colors when you do the crisscross that you have to do for felting. It's like, well, these colors, the subtleties might get lost. So we have to think about how we want to do that. We can do something, for example, an all white or all black base, and then use these colors in a pattern on top to retain their individual colors instead of getting them mishy-mashy. But I want to see what happens when you do cross them. So this is all 2 layers thick instead of the usual 3. I mean, I'm not going to waste this stuff. It is primo. So now that we finally got to the store, I was delighted to find some high-end stuff. Just sad that the majority of her roving was those little packs, little plastic bags of like 6 little colors, not even a whole ounce in one bag. It's like, no. I look at buying 2 to 4 ounces of just one color. I get that from Temu, I need now this is Cordial, and I got this particular one from farm in Pennsylvania. But I really have got to find something in Connecticut because the shipping is just like making this an affordable hobby that's out of my reach. The shipping almost doubles my average order. Like a $25 order, $18 in shipping. And not even a pound. We're talking like 4 ounces altogether. I can't do it. Can't do it. It's just not sustainable. Especially since, we're not allowed to sell anything. And the best I can do is if I make something that somebody wants, they can reimburse me for the wool. This stuff is $22 a bag. This stuff is $18 a skein. Yeah, Temu has some good stuff, but also bad stuff. I have a big bag of brilliant red wool, and it was promised to be real wool, and I paid premium for it through Temu. And you apply your coupons and you get it for a reasonable price. What they say is $100, you get for 11. Problem was it was synthetic, so all this red they've sent me is synthetic. I just got some more that's real wool, but I think it's real wool actually blended with a synthetic. That doesn't say it on the package, and there's nothing I can do about it, but it does felt. It also bleeds. So clearly red dye is an issue. So yeah, I don't know what to make of that. I don't have much call for doing things with a bright red anyway. But if you want a pattern, and especially like the holidays around here, people love the red and the green and the white and the gold, Christmas. It's just, oh, I got lots of stuff on Temu. It works, but they don't always sell you a good thing. Like, okay, I ordered a blouse and I really liked it. And I ordered another one. And that one, the shoulders were different sizes. I got another blouse. It looked like 2 different sides were sewn together, cockeyed and crazy, not in a cute way, but in a what the hell is wrong with you way. So, yeah, it doesn't look like the picture. And then you've got this thing, and then they offer to give you part of the money back in a credit rather than you have to ship it back to them. And there's been a few times I just said, you know what, like I got a cast iron pan, but the one I ordered was like 1.5 inches deep. The one I got was like 1/2 inch deep. So I'm like, what the hell am I going to cook in this? I've already got a tortilla pan. I don't need another short one. But I figure, well, you know what? It's cast iron, which means it'll hold the heat for a while. If I cook something and bring it downstairs, that could be good. On the other hand, packing up something that heavy and sending it back was more problematic for me than anything else. So I just said, you know what? Give me the credit. Some of the dye came out. No, you can't wash wool before you felt it because it'll felt. As soon as you hit it with water, it felts. Starts felting, shrinking. Wool shrinks. So no, can't wash the dye out first. But I've had success with Temu, or I wouldn't use it, again. So yeah, it's got its ups and downs. If you know what you're buying and you know how to read, well, even then, I worked real hard I got a pair of pants that tie at the bottom, and I made sure I bought one pair, washed them, decided, yes, I'd like more. I went and I found them in a beige and a khaki, the same thing. That's not what I got. They sent me this other stuff, absolutely unwearable. And yeah, it tied in the bottom, but it was like already 6 inches too long. It had an elastic waist like this that kept hiking up. It's like, what the hell is this? I couldn't wear them at all. I couldn't even wear them once. So it's like, they do like a kind of like a bait and switch with things sometimes. So you gotta stay on top of it. But as I say, I've gotten good stuff. I've gotten several dresses that I love to wear, and things you wear over the dresses, like I was wearing today, sun protection. So they're very feminine and lacy kind of things that just go over the dresses to cover my arms. So some stuff like that it's fine. But when I ordered those lacy black things, a black thing to go over my dress, it was a completely different fabric and looked cheap as hell because the way it was sewn and how shiny it was. It's like, this was supposed to be kind of like a cotton gauzy type, and now this looks like a very cheap version of something to wear to a nightclub. This is weird. Um, so yeah, you don't always get what you think you're getting. Well, I'm not going to speak against the company. They do the exact same thing as Amazon Marketplace. In fact, the shit on Temu is on Amazon's Marketplace. And I know that sometimes they get their orders mixed up because I ordered this from Temu. It was a set of 2, and it came from Amazon. It's like, I did not make an Amazon order. And then I open it up and go, no, I ordered this from Temu. I know I did, because I thought, hey, go straight to China if you want a mat, they make them there for sure. Yeah, and they sell them through Amazon. So somehow, now I'd rather just go direct through somebody in China than go through Amazon to China and give Amazon a percentage of the deal. I'm pretty much boycotting them. But anyway, all that aside, I got permission from management to do a workshop in sprouting food in your closet or a windowsill. Not everybody has the light I have. Some of the apartments in the middle have almost no light. They're north facing. So well, I have to have varieties for these people. But some of those people, they're not interested in growing anything anyway. But I want to offer what I can to the community for their own safety, because food is, when I saw what I just bought from the grocery store, I wasn't even going to place an order, but I found out one of my neighbors was out of everything. So I gave her my eggs. So well, I'll go get some eggs, and I ordered an extra dozen and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, um, it was astronomical. My little bottle of kimchi went up $2.50. $2.50. Yes, made here in America. So someone's doing a lot of bullshitting. Kimchi is nothing but fermented cabbage and spices. It's not like real expensive. It's green. It's actually it's Chinese cabbage, but it's cabbage. It doesn't take any huge effort to grow that special cabbage, you know. Um, it's just very upsetting to see everything so much more. And that's why I'm really glad that I started stocking up, saving stuff as best I could in November now, because I'm at the bottom rung financially. Obviously, I could not put a lot aside, but I also don't have room to put a lot aside. But I've been saving up canned stuff, and I'm really, really glad now because, well, so now I do sprouts. I like to, for my personal self, I like to buy organic seeds, which means having to use the internet to get them shipped. I've been stocking up seeds, which you can only stock up for so long because you start having a degeneration of them over time. So they're in a cool, dark, dry place, and I can take them out because a whole jar of seeds, a whole jar of sprouts only takes like a teaspoon of seeds, or a tablespoon of seeds rather. Like alfalfa, clover. You'll fill a whole quart jar in a week. Just you have to know how to take care of them. But the people here are not going to be doing that. They're not going to have the money. So my interest is showing them how to use seeds that you get from the grocery store, like dried peas. It turns out that pea greens, pea shoots, number one, they're very easy to grow. I've already done it a few times. You get them about 6 inches maximum high, and you snip them and you toss them in your bowl before you make a ramen, or you throw them in a wok or your stir fry last second. It only takes like 30 seconds to cook them, and they taste like green peas, and they're super healthy. And you grow them like a tablespoon of peas, man. I'll give you a whole bunch of sprouts. It's pretty impressive. I haven't grown chia seeds. I have them, but I think that's an excellent idea, growing some chia, because chia grows wild in the southern backyards. You call it chia. They usually mow it down, calling it a weed, but the seeds are chia. And you've got a bunch of things that grow like that down south. Lamb's quarters, that's like chia. Lamb's quarters puts out at the end of the season, puts out seed head. These little black seeds are very much edible. You toast them, you turn them into a cereal. So, yeah, there's a lot of wild foods, very healthy and keep you going. And that's my concern. These are old people. They are not going to be out there gardening food, right? And they don't have the money to buy it. And come this fall, we're going to really feel the hardship of what's happening with our weather right now. People, you remember, we're having a drought all over the place. We're having heat waves all over the world right now. Those heat waves include agricultural communities where their crops are drying up, or it's so hot they're not setting seed. So there is a major supply shortage coming, and as we're going to start to see it play out over summer. By autumn, it's going to be very clear. Don't forget all of this crackdown on all the terror over immigration, with our president trying to make this an all white Christian nationalist country, basically Nazis. So you need to be prepared. You need to learn how to make some food for yourself. And like in winter when you can't go outside, you still need your greens. You need to survive on those. So unfortunately, some seeds are very expensive, like green onions, believe it or not. I've had them as sprouts. Oh my God, they are so good as sprouts. But that's very expensive seed to buy online. That's why when you buy a pack to grow in your garden, you don't get a whole lot of seeds, or make it seem like a lot of seeds. But if you're sprouting them, that's not a lot of seeds. So knowing what you can do with the peas and lentils, almost every bean, if you like, okay, chickpeas, you can't sprout them the way you sprout the other beans, because if you do that, they get slimy. You know how they've got that outer shell. So what you do with chickpeas is you soak them. There's a two-part process, because if you're going to buy chickpeas over the counter, like dried beans, garbanzos, you need to make sure that you first do a soak to take out off the excess pesticides, and then you do a second soak to get rid of outside pathogens, so you don't poison yourself. And then with purified water out of your Brita or Pure filter, use tap water, clean it. You soak them for a few hours and put them in a jar in the dark, and usually overnight they will pop their little root. It only takes 2 days or 3 days, and then you cook them. You cook them like you would normally cook them, but because you went and sprouted them, you have increased their nutritional value, which is mind-blowing, because like you can almost double some of the nutrition just by sprouting the damn thing before you cook it. Now, garbanzos and all beans have to be cooked. If you don't get to the right temperature, lentils included, it's not going to be very digestible. So you have to know how to cook beans. But sprouting them is another thing altogether. So I'm going to consult with this guy here on YouTube. I got some inserts that he makes, and he's got a channel on sprouting. But see, that's one of the problems. Although I could easily send everybody in the building, check out this channel, most of them don't access YouTube. Most of them do not access the internet other than for their television and their phone. And they don't use their phones the way we kids do. Like, I've got a neighbor, she's got a fancier phone than I have, and she does not use anything on it at all, except to make actual phone calls and the weather. That's it. And she doesn't press the buttons on anything else, because she has zero curiosity. Considering she's over 80, I don't put pressure on her. But when she's got a problem, she calls me so I can help her rehook her pad and things like that. Like, I ordered her pad for her. So, but what I did order from Temu is, where is it? It's something cute. Here it is. This is one of the next projects. I'll show you in just a minute here. Let's keep all this together for tomorrow. This was worth a gamble because it was like under $2. And I was I have to spend $2 in order to get free shipping. And I did have this on my eventual buy it list. Stick pins. So apparently it is a little lightly welded plate. It looks like a dental mirror with a safety needle. which is just like a white eraser filled thingy. They're handy. Okay, so what I wanted to do with this was make a felted flower that I could glue to it. And I ended up, I try to make these roses because I thought, wouldn't that be cute to have little felted rose buds on a little teeny boutonniere? The problem I discovered is the back end. That is a lot of wool, and it doesn't want to sit on this tiny little thingy. So I have to go back to the drawing board because I like these rosebuds. This one, I made a mistake with this I should have just stuck with one color per layer. Oh, hold on a second. Hello? Oh, yes, I left a message. Thank you for returning my call. No, that's okay. We went to Driftwood Yarns in Groton and then got completely lost coming back. So I know how the day can go. So, yes, wet felting. And now I know you're not very far from us. I'm on the air live right now, so I can't tell you my address. But so I will have to get back to you. But do you make an appointment that somebody can come over and look at what you have, or is that strictly off limits now? Oh, that's cool. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, everybody loves it. Um, can we get on a mailing list so I know about your events? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm giving her my address so she can email me. Awesome. Awesome. I definitely want to be there. Is it local? I mean, it's your place, right? Okay. Okay. So okay, it's all one word. Call, CallMe. So call me Gailyn, GAILYN. Call me Gailyn at gmail.com. Thank you so much, Denise. Wonderful. Well, I'm excited. I'm already excited. I've already got one person I'm trying to really promote wet felting to people so people like get away from fast fashion more and take more control about being, artists and make their own stuff. Oh, good. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing every festival possible. I hear that Ledyard has one pop-up kind of a thing connected with the farmers market. So I want to keep on the list for that too. So I will contact you probably tomorrow in my email. Thank you. Thank you so much. I better go though because people don't hear your end. They just hear me talking. Have a great night. Thanks. Bye-bye. That's awesome. That was a farm that we wanted to go to. Apparently, they're going to have a pop-up event in September, but during the summer, they have to pack up all of their fleece and wools and roving because, you know, mice. So it's like, okay. So I will be able to get out to the farm after all. But because summer is what it is, if I want to see something, they have to bring it out to their like porch. And I don't see the need to put anybody through that right now, but I will sign up because of the pop-up events. And you heard me say Ledyard is a town not all that far from here. And I used to live in Ledyard. It was the first place I landed when I moved up from New York. And it's country. And it is country. And going through there, I saw how much it's developed. It's like, oh my God. But then I recognized some places like, and of course, I've been there since the 70s, but it was still really cool to see. And yeah, apparently they've got a really good farmers market coming up. And they've got fiber artists. There's some kind of like an annual fiber artist event there where people sell their raw stuff from local farms and their products that they make with it. So I've got to get my butt there. Got to get there. So my friend is feeling the same. She wants to do more wet felting. She has lymphedema, which makes her very swollen, and she does the needle felting and she really enjoys that, but her wrists and fingers sometimes can only take so much of that motion. It is very, very, very repetitive and can be painful. Also, she broke one of her wrists. So I had her make a bowl for her first project. And we did the friendship balls, and she enjoyed that. It's like it's small. It's like it's easy motion. There's nothing heavy or jerking. No, sudden movements. But she wants to make a bag for her sister. Her sister has a birthday this coming month, and so a bag is a big project, especially if it's your second one. But I'll be here, to coach her through it every step of the way. But it's going to be a challenge for both of us because of the size. And I warned her that we've got to commit a minimum of 3 hours just to get it started. And then we're going to have to make a second day to make not the chain, the strap to hold the purse. So that's hours just to make the strap. In fact, I've got one in process that I've taken everything and just set it aside. It's like, okay, when we're ready to work large, which I can't do over here, I'll continue with that. With you, it's in the, oh, why, thank you for your confidence. Well, I have done a bunch of bags now, but she wants something, well, she wants it to be bigger than this. And this is one I need to make I really love this bag, but I want it to be more like a drawstring bag. So I need to make a special handle for that. Now this was supposed to be a vessel, but remember, it flared out. It was not supposed to flare out. It was, if anything, supposed to go in, and it did not. So I've been thinking about this because, man, this is sturdy. This is very strong, and it's nice and heavy, and it's extremely well felted. So I've been thinking about what I can do to make this into a bag too. It's got some gold thread in it, silk. This is from one of my scarves. I love how that felt. I got plenty more of that because, you know, it's not made of wool, so it doesn't go into the fibers. And we got the little wool neps. I'm amazed that these stayed on as well as they did, because the red ones I did with the second generation, I ended up pulling them all off. They were just a pain in the butt. But here they stuck really well, like bubbles in the water. So I got everything I wanted out of this, except the shape did not hold true. Oh yeah, and apparently silk doesn't like the red dye either. The red silk from the sari, it came off and it stained. I did not like that. I still don't like it, but it doesn't bother me as much because I made another one and didn't use the red silk. But turning this into something more purse-like, yeah, that would be nice. Although I could turn it into a kind of a basket. That would take soaking it, really soaking it, and then drying it by way of stuffing it with towels and then letting it dry for about 2 days. And that'll help stretch it out, but it has to be very wet to stretch it. And old felters, hatters, they used steam and molds. So this would go over a wooden mold, and they would use pressure and steam to make it take the form. And the more you felt it, the stiffer it gets, so like the harder it gets. And that's really good for, you know, wide-brimmed hats and all that. Although those kinds of hats are thinner than this. This is like extra chunky because I made this to be a sculpture, not a hat. Well, I guess it's a kind of a weird bucket hat. Oh, wait a minute, I got glasses on my head. No, I don't think that's gonna work. Well, if I need a clown hat, I suppose. No, that would not be an attractive hat at all. But that is supremely silly. A basket case. Oh, you are tired, aren't you? Okay, so the purse I did not finish. Here's my first hat. Now, this does not go on right yet. I'm going to have to do some more stretching of this. So my head is, I don't have a little pom-pom thing on the top. Oh, I did make it. Okay. So this is a beret, my first attempt at a beret, which means I'll be making another one. I wanted something pink to go with my dress. After I made this, I realized, why am I making a wool hat for a summer dress? The dress I made this for is sleeveless, very summery. This is not summer. Wool hats are winter. Now this is what I left off doing. This is the purse, the basic purse. And this is what it's going to take to make the strap. this, I forgot that I left it in here. This is the viscose in 2 colors. But these are not colors that I really use much. I don't even know how I ended up with these particular colors. It must have been, I don't know how. It might have been part of a deal or something, because I'm pretty sure I didn't order it. Isn't that beautiful? It's gorgeous stuff. So I do like this, and it's super soft and squashy. And it's, there's the back of it. This pumpkin, this is this fiber. This is the viscose bamboo. And I love what it does. So that's the back of the purse. There's the front. And I want this to be kind of a casual bag, so I'm not going to make a closure most likely. It's just going to be something to hold my phone and wallet or whatever when I want to run out. So this is all the wool I set aside for it, so it would be a perfect match, and I would not accidentally use that yarn in something else and not have it when I'm sitting down to make this handle. Now that's something I can work on. I'll make a handle for this when I'm showing my friend how to make the handle for her purse. So this was the first attempt at this double thing. Oh, I have a light in here. Yes, it is very much so. It feels like it too. It's so soft. But I reinvented this. Instead of I tried to make another one, but around the 8-sided jar. But I screwed up. It was too felted when I went to wrap it, and it wouldn't stick together where it needed to. So I opened it all up, and that's how I ended up doing this. This was going to go around a jar, and I just decided to turn it into art, because I haven't made any art pieces for myself. Every art piece, if you want to call it an art piece like this, I cut it up and make bookmarkers out of it to donate to our library, or turn it into a wool painting and mail it to Gloria. So this is my first one that's for me, and that's what the blue background is for. So that's tomorrow's project. I was like, I just cannot, I put so much into this, I can't throw it away. But I also just don't see what I'm going to use it for at the moment. So sometimes you end up with something usable, and sometimes you just screw up. I mean, this would be an awfully fancy trivet. Here, put your hot plates on there. I mean, you can. It's really insulated. Matter of fact, you could probably use this to grab pots and pans. Not recommending, but probably could. It's very, very chunky. This, on the other hand, is all merino wool and silk. And this is super, super soft and spongy. So, yeah, this is a basic bag to not carry a lot of weight. I can't put a bottle of water in this. I did not construct this to carry weight other than my phone and my little money or something if I'm going out. It's kind of like a dress bag or dressier, as you can see by the things I have dangling here. Then we have these. This, I started making the strap for this, and then I ended up using the wrong wool. It turned out to be synthetic, and I screwed up that part of the project. And this is just weird. This I was trying to make just a flap, and I need to get this down pat because I have to learn it well enough to teach it. Because Maureen wants a corner, triangle flap, and the one I tried making, if that's what I ended up using fake black wool, and the whole bottom of it just would not felt. The top of it felted, the bottom did not. I cut off the bottom that was garbage and couldn't do anything with it and threw it away. This has to be all trimmed and all that, but this also should just have, I was thinking for this, just a button and your basic black strap. Now the dress that I matched this to, because I thought this would be perfect to go with this dress, the dress doesn't fit me right anymore. I mean, literally just doesn't fit right. I'm donating it brand new. So after all of that, getting the colors to match, oh well. But like I said, everything, I'm still a beginner. I'm an advanced beginner, but I'm still a beginner. So I'm learning every time I do a project, I'm learning more about what goes with what. And I look at a lot of the videos. The one I am really, there's an artist named Svetlana, and I'm not sure if she speaks English or not, or I'm listening to a translation, but she does sculptural felting, and she has a way of making book templates. That's what they're called. So she designed something, let's say, is going to be 8-sided, and she cuts out her plastic and tapes everything together. So she's got the sculpture out of plastic, like the same plastic I use, this kind of stuff. And I tried one fin, and I did not do it right. It did what I wanted basically, but not quite. So what I wanted to do was what she does, where she's got stuff like 8 flaps and all kinds of really cool shapes. She does a lot of marine shapes and fantasy stuff. Ah, well, thank you. Like I said, I'm a beginner, basically, but I'm an advanced beginner. I've already got some techniques down that they don't consider beginner techniques, like felting on silk. Now, when I do that wool I just got, that really gentle silk merino mix, gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. This stuff right here. Look at this cotton candy-ish. This is amazingly light. Now, I only have 2 layers here, so we can kind of feel for how the colors work together. But this is the same color as the tassels on my scarf, but the silk is not. The silk is green, or aquamarine actually. So it's got much stronger green in it. I have it packed away in a safe place at the moment because it's so fragile. So I'm debating now, whoops, this stuff is the finest stuff I have in my collection. I've been collecting all of this aquamarine stuff so I can do the whole scarf in aquamarine, but the silk tassels that are all still attached, I haven't lost any. It's this color. So, I might end up going with this because I have a feeling this is going to felt like a dream. It's so soft, it feels kind of like, what's the stuff we used to put on Christmas trees before they discovered it was bad for you? Fiberglass. Remember the gorgeous, beautiful fiberglass? But it can splinter and get in your skin. What was that called, Gary? It wasn't tinsel. You know what I mean, right? I mean, then again, you might be already too old to remember because they did not use that my entire childhood. Angel hair? It looked beautiful on a tree. It sparkled like silk. It was always white, very fine. It did like what this does, and you'd put it on your tree. But of course, come time to take the tree down, you couldn't get that stuff off the tree. Once it went on a real tree, it was stuck there forever. I just can't remember what it's called now, because I know what its real name is, fiberglass. Do you remember what that stuff is? What it used to be called, or what it is called? Doc, aloha! What is that stuff when we were kids? The white, fluffy angel hair kind of stuff we used to put on Christmas trees before everybody realized that's fiberglass and it's bad for you and they stopped? There was a name for it. I can't remember. Because we didn't use it for very long before it was taken off the market. Now the tinsel is the metal stuff. This is white and it acts like this. It's like when you take a little bit of it, it's like the viscose. It's super, super fine. Well, it was crap, but throw some of that white snow crap on the tree. You missed what I would do. I went to the yarn store today. And while I was here, a farm called me back. They were busy all day because it's operating farm. They raise alpaca. So I'm going to get her on our mailing list because they do pop-up events. Their big sales start in September when it gets cooler. But this is, I laid out samples of what I got to felt tomorrow so we can see. So there's this color here that's like purples and grays. Then we got this, which goes from maroon to brown to purple to pink. It's just a gorgeous array. And here, obviously, we got the greens and the blues, a couple different greens, couple different blues, and a little bit of gold in there. And then these are 3 different batches of New Zealand merino and silk, 20% silk. So I got the 3 different colors. No, it wasn't asbestos. It was fiberglass. Very dangerous. It's found in insulation. But when they first started using it, they didn't know the difference. I'll be off at 2 tomorrow. Oh, good. I'll be here earlier. Tomorrow's Sunday. And I've got so much to research. So Monday begins the legal fight to make sure we don't lose services in this building. And I have been given permission by management to do a workshop teaching people how to grow from seeds, sprouts, and microgreens. And I need to set up my own everything for that. Asbestos is a mineral. Fiberglass is literally molten glass spun into very thin fibers. You have cotton insulation? I don't even think that's legal. What do you mean cotton? When I was down in, when I was in North Carolina, our neighbors retired from a PG and something. They made fiberglass there, and their hands, you have to guide these things while they're hot, like threads. You have to guide them, and their hands were swollen red messes from that. What was the white fiberglass-like fibers that people used to put on their Christmas trees before they realized how dangerous they were? Angel hair. You're right. And there's the asbestos. Literally spun glass, fiberglass, or made from asbestos. They used both. These materials were widely used from the 30s through the 50s for a shimmering, snowy effect and were heavily marketed as fireproof fluff. Decorating with these products often resulted in severe skin rashes, eye irritation, and respiratory issues. The spun glass is what we had. Marketed for decades, this fluffy material consisted of extremely fine, sharp glass strands. Stretching or pulling it apart sent tiny glass shards airborne, which caused glass splinters in the skin, severe itching, and lung irritation if inhaled. I do remember that. And before angel hair became popular, pure chrysotile asbestos was sprinkled directly onto branches, wreaths, and miniature train sets to simulate a perfect winter wonderland. It was incredibly dangerous because the microscopic fibers were easily inhaled, leading to serious long-term respiratory diseases. While true asbestos snow was phased out decades ago, vintage holiday decorations handed down from this era can still pose a safety risk. If you suspect you have vintage Christmas decorations, look at them. If they're loose, flaky, or damaged, you need safe disposal instructions. Now I'm really glad that I don't have any decorations other than what's really clearly safe. Cotton is so flammable. I don't know why. The fluffy, also called buffalo snow. Well, let's find out, Gary, because that's a fire hazard. Has cotton ever used as insulation down south? Yes. Cotton has historically been used as home insulation down south. Particularly in the early to mid-20th century, scrap cotton from textile mills was frequently used to pack the walls and attics of older homes. Some homeowners also stuffed vintage clothing, rags, and newspapers directly into wall cavities as a do-it-yourself insulating method. So historically down south, in mill areas, you've got mill scraps like the Carolinas and Georgia. So yeah, you probably do. You have a very old house. Cotton waste was cheap and easily accessible. Mills often sold cotton batting for housing insulation. Son of a bitch. That would not fly in New York. Newspaper and clothing. Now, I knew about newspaper because we found newspaper shoved into holes in the walls from, like, we were in a house that was like Victorian age, but it wasn't a Victorian. That was the haunted house I lived in. Okay, stuffing a layer, common low-cost way to block drafts and buffer temperatures. Modern cotton insulation. While loose-fill, untreated clothing is no longer up to modern building codes due to fire hazards and moisture retention, the concept has evolved. Today, you can buy engineered natural cotton fiber insulation, frequently made from recycled denim. These modern cotton bats are treated with borate to provide necessary flame retardancy as well as pest and mold resistance. If you are dealing with an older home down south, tell me, what decade was the house built? Are you finding loose cotton clothing or rolled batting? Are you planning a renovation or an energy upgrade? It's AI. No, You don't have to bother with any of that. It's not my house. But now we know. Thank you. I never heard of buffalo snow. Is that another name for the angel hair? See, I learned something today. I've learned a few things today. But no, I never heard of cotton being used in insulation. It makes sense down south. But no, I never would have guessed it because I'm used to thinking in terms of fire safety, and just plain cotton from those mills was enough. The low lint was enough to start a fire. 1947. Yep. I was born in 54, so they weren't using that by then. Certainly not up here. So, Doc, what you missed also is this. This is that big piece of felt I made for this. But I want to make a golden apple, like the goddess type golden apple. I've got some gold, but it's metal and it's not felting, so I'm trying to come up with another material. I may have to make it separately and then kind of tack it or glue it in. But I definitely want a gold and not yellow. I tried the yellow and it just looked like I was trying to make a sun there or something. Looks stupid. So this came out just beautifully, even though it's reflecting the light right now. You see now all the silk and viscose coming through like I wanted. So I'm glad to see I didn't use too much wool on top of it. And this will be inset. I'll probably put a piece of white paper behind it, rice paper, to make up for the little spots here that, au naturel. But it's too late to do all the felting tonight. It was just the longest. I mean, I had a good time. It was a lot of driving, but I was in good company. My friend's good company. Sometimes a little scary, a driver, but she makes some people very nervous. So she ended up with this little, tension cube. And she said, "Here you go." And I said, "Okay." And when she almost rammed into somebody, I said, "Am I going to have to throw this at you?" We laughed. I laughed when she handed that to me. It's like, "Oh, you're nervous. Here, you can squash this and work out some of your nervousness." Like, I love it. Thank you. We'll leave it in the car for other people who are more nervous than me. I wasn't actually nervous. I didn't need that. But when I ride with her, I'm kind of like her other set of eyes to make sure nothing happens. She sees most stuff, but sometimes she forgets, like, slow down before you ram that person in the back. So we had a couple of kind of close calls, but not an actual close call. There was no freaking out, but I did have to say something at one point. So I don't own a car anymore. So I just cheer her on. We went out, had a hamburger. But let me show you what I filled 2 suitcases today. And this is what I wanted to do. Look at those. Ta-da! 3 bunches. It is 70% New Zealand merino wool and 20% mulberry silk blended together. It is so soft. You can barely feel it in your hands. It's so soft. This is merino wool. You buy it like, this beautiful braid, and it's quite a lot. So we have We've got plenty to get us going. And if I make something out of these, she's got more, and I can order more. I have apparently chosen a hobby that not very many people really know about. I mean, everybody's heard of felt. You go, well, we used to be able to go to the store and you buy a sheet of felt for 25 cents, although by the time I stopped buying it, it was over $1 a sheet. Michaels carries it. Joanne Fabric carried it when it was still alive. Um, Felt is felt. It's not expensive, and they make today's felt is mostly not made with wool. It's made with synthetics. Just heat is involved, so they press them. And you can't really make anything. It's like an art thing. But if you want to make a cape or a dress or a jacket or a vest, any of that stuff, a hat, you need to be able to make it from scratch with the wool. Oh, yeah. Man, the scariest driver I was ever with was my stepfather, Harvey. He was totally a menace on the road, terrified down in Florida. Oh, there were times that we really wondered that we got home alive. He made some serious problematic kinds of choices. And like making a left across, how Florida has like, I don't know, 3 lanes in each side. And so he went and crossed from these 3 lines we were in across up a one-way 3-lane and up that one way and then crossed all those lanes into a parking lot of a gas station. It's like, oh my God, he's going to kill us. He's going to kill us. He's going to kill us. It was really frightening because you've got 3 lanes of cars coming where they're not expecting to see a car. And then 3 more coming at you, and they weren't expecting anybody to come and cross in front of them. And we're all like, ah! And the only thing missing where we were so horrified we couldn't even scream. That's when Rich was visiting from Dublin. Nothing like being in the back seat of a driver like that. And luckily for us, he got a bright red car. So people who were more alert could see that bright red car and get out of its way, because he was like, nah, they'll wait. It's like, yeah, some people are frightening. So when he had to give up the car, I was happy. Like, I'm not happy that you have loss of mobility, because I know how that feels and it sucks. But on the other hand, you have a much greater chance of reaching 99. Yeah, some people are a little nerve-wracking. One of the women here just recently had to have her car taken away from her. Apparently, she slipped outside of her car and fell and couldn't get her own butt back up to get in the car. And that was it. Her daughter said, "That's it. No more driving. No more driving. God forbid this happened somewhere not in your own parking lot." Yeah, they are. Well, I get that, because when I lived in North Carolina, I lived on a very windy country road. Matter of fact, just the year before, it was when it was paved. It was a dirt road and a gravel road all its life, for the entire history of the town. But then we had a female mayor who made it her first personal goal was to make sure all these roads got paved. because like I was actually on a main road. It was a main country road. I was 7 miles from town, but that road had a lot of traffic, and it was a mud slide in afterwards, a drizzle, because North Carolina, the South, red clay, right? Slippery as hell. So yeah, it was just dangerous. Well, they just finished paving it, and we moved in. And when we first moved there, we were terrified because everything was back and forth and around, and it's like, and at that point, it was before the chip mill came in, and everything was woods. And you would realize at some point, like, oh my God, if I go off the road there, I'm going down 15 feet. Those little trees in the front are just shielding you from the fact that that's a ravine. Because, North Carolina, we were in the foothills, so a lot of small lumps called hills. Well, by the time we lived there a year, having to do the 7 miles back and forth every day, multiple times to go to work, to go to stores, you got real fast. You got to know your road, and doing 25 miles an hour was like, no, that's what you do when you're driving the tractor. When you get those on the road, and I know you've been behind the tractors before, because you get stuck in behind a tractor a lot down south. Oh, we were country, so yeah, tractors were part of the norm there. I loved it though. I mean, I loved being out that far, but yeah, our driveway was like this. It was a real extreme. Our landlord, when he had that dug, I guess he didn't want to pay to have stuff brought in and to make it a normal size slope. It was extreme slope, and also a lot of red clay, and we had a van, and it's hard to get out of there. If it drizzled, you could not safely navigate that without risking going off into the ditch on either side of the driveway. So yeah, sometimes Glenn missed work just because we had a drizzle and we couldn't get the damn thing out. And one day he was insistent on going. It's like, please don't go. It's been raining for like an hour. It's like snot. He went ahead and tried to get out of the driveway, and almost to the top, the thing slid sideways, and we had to get towed out of our own driveway. It's like, okay, do what you want, mister. You're the man. After that, though, that ended those being, those kinds of warnings being ignored. He did not attempt that again because it costs money to get towed out. But like I said, I love the isolation. And it was on one of those kinds of days that my dad visited. So that was really cool. And that was, it happened to be a day we got a little bit of snow. And I said, don't go to work. You'll never get the damn driveway. And so he agreed with me. He said, all right, I won't go to work today. I said, no, just relax. It's snowing. We got all the dogs, the cats, we're all here. Breakfast in bed. Let's chill out. And we did. We watched the snow for a while and then got up, and he went to walk the dogs, and that's when Dad popped in to visit. So, yeah, always listen to your intuition. Okay, yes, it's time to eat. My brain needs carbs and probably other things. I'll be back tomorrow. You can count on me. I'm not waiting to Christmas. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. I will have my leisurely breakfast in bed because it's Sunday. And then I'll come here. You're going to be back at 2 tomorrow? The fields are still empty. That's so sad. That's so sad. Well, we're going to take it day by day, sweetie. Day by day. But I'm going to go. I made a turkey thigh yesterday. and plenty left over for today, and some baked potato, and I've got some fresh broccoli and cucumber. I'm full. I got lots of stuff I can eat. May the food take you to high places. I'm not sure how to interpret that, but I will definitely get to high places and have good food. And may you also enjoy the afternoon, particularly 4:20. It's now 6:28, so I'm late. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Rest well, Gary. We'll see you when you get home from work. Because tomorrow being Sunday, if I'm here early, it means I'll be stopping, eating lunch, and then coming back. But if I'm really lazy in the morning, I'll be here around lunchtime.